We bring the right thing up over here. We're live. Welcome all my YouTubers, all my TikTokies. We are about to start talking about the citizen brand personality. We are on our final brand personality. And this series turned into an unexpected pleasure because people have been telling me that they first of all have been sitting and listening to like the full video, and these videos have been oh no and these videos have been long. So the fact that people are like sitting down and taking it in and seeing themselves in it, that is such a joy to me. Like, it just feels good to know that they're getting that kind of information. And so, oh, this looks a little blurry over here, let me try to fix this. So the fact that it is doing what it's doing right now, it's doing the numbers that it's doing. It's making me feel really excited. Oh, my focus point is off. Okay. All right, that looks better. All right. So yeah, so we have been moving along. So if you know what your brand personalities are, if you've been listening and you want to shout out your brand personalities, rep your personality, rep your set, then go for it. Drop them in the comments. I really am looking forward to seeing how these this like information helps people in the future. So y'all are y'all have really made this a fun time for me. So let's get into why today has been such an amazing day. So I went out today with a new client and we got content for her brand. She is a perfume brand, Black woman owned brand, and she not only does perfumes but she also does skincare. And so we came up with this pitch literally like on live on TikTok one day. We were just kind of like talking it out. Hey Kuma, we were talking out this idea about some content, and how we can, not just the content, y'all. Let me be straight up. So it's not just the content. Thank you. It's not just the content, but it was the entire way to elevate her brand. So we talked about how we were going to update her labels for her perfumes, the things that needed to be adjusted on her website so that when people smell these perfumes and they know, I want to get this, I need this scent, I need this smell, where they need to go to get it. We were also building out her affiliates so that as she grows and expands, she has a team of people who are promoting her brand too, because I noticed that she was doing really well on TikTok when it came to her affiliates. And so I was like, man, we got to take this momentum that you got and bring this together and see how we can make this an entire organized thing. And so one thing that I was talking about earlier today that I will touch on. Hopefully, I'll touch on it today. If I don't, then I will come back and make it its own separate video. But one thing that I was talking about was how important it is for us to have our own, especially as Black business owners, Black brands, Black entrepreneurs, Black creators, all the things that really display our creativity, it displays our ingenuity, the things that display how trend setting we are as a culture. How do we make sure that all of our visibility, all of our power is not tied up in these social media platforms? And so, and I've talked about this in different ways and at different times, but today I was on live with a friend of mine, Stephanie D. McKenzie, and we were talking about the response that people had after the election, and especially as Black people, our response was to rally together and build something for ourselves so that we don't get left behind, because it's clear to us if it wasn't clear already, it's clear that we got to stand up and come together so that we can build our community. And so we were talking about that, and one of the things that came to my mind was how up in the air the future of each platform is, especially TikTok. And what is another one? It's not the stability is not up in the air, but I know everybody's like, flocking from the Bird app. And so with all of that happening, all of this going on, the stability of social media platforms is just not there. And how do you take what you're building, what you're doing, especially if where you're seeing the most traction is through social media? How do we take what we got and how do we bring it into a place where we can communicate with people, we can build, we can have access to information, we can come together without worrying about how the algorithm is going to push our things out, all of these different things that end up being barriers and just like sore points for us when it comes to social media. So today, going out with my client and like literally having people try her products in person, getting their feedback in real time, seeing how many people were like, this scent, I've never smelled a scent like this before. I have never been able to smell a sweet scent without it smelling like alcohol. Like there was the craft and the time and the professionalism that went into building her brand was we were literally seeing it being admired in real time, and I got it on camera. So we're building a community of people. We're growing her client base. We are expanding her brand right here at home, right here in our community. And so doing more things like that and showing people what it looks like and what makes sense for your brand to do that is something that has been at the forefront of my mind for some time now. And so it's just time for me to, kind of kick it up a notch, I guess, with what that looks like. So today just was, I mean, honestly, it couldn't have went any better. It couldn't have went any better, y'all. It was a beautiful day. The weather was it just was nice. We went down to the wharf. If y'all are familiar with DC area, we went down to the wharf, and so it's like a lot of people, in their best clothes, walking up and down the boardwalk, going to the restaurants, just having a good time and being able to meet so many different people while we were out. It felt good. And so in the content that we got was just, y'all, when y'all see this content, y'all are going to wish that it was you. No, Kyrie.
Question.
Yes.
I'm kind of foggy. Can I put the McDonald's in the fridge?
Yes. He keep ending up on camera. Hey, Monica. So thank you, Adrian. It ended up being it was good. Monica's here. Monica's here. So y'all can ask her for yourself. But when y'all see this content, man, it's elite. Oh, it's gonna look so good. It's gonna look so good. It's just gonna look so good. I'm proud of us. I am proud of us. Like, it's just I mean, we just really did it. So yeah, y'all. If you're not already following the Yoni culture, that's my client that I'm talking about. Um, her perfumes are, I mean, y'all, really, like, there's something special about them. And being able to see other people validate that and be like, no, there is actually something really special. Like, this is different. I've never smelled anything like this before. Like, my favorite thing was seeing people's face when they smelled it and they were like, what? When you eat something good and you gotta look at the bottle real fast, like you drink it and then you gotta look at it. That was what people was doing when they was smelling her perfume. So it was just a pleasure. It was a pleasure. I had a great time. And it went better than what I imagined. So yeah, when that content comes out, it's gonna be up. It's gonna be up. So yeah, y'all, that's why I am in such a good mood, even though 95 played in my face once again with the traffic. Good old 95, but we made it. I'm here. I am alive and well. Hey, Leon. Yes, this is my final brand personality outfit. I am the citizen. The only thing that this outfit was missing was some glasses. And you know what? As I say that, I remember I was gonna try to find my blue light glasses because I felt like this outfit just needed some eyewear. But not shades. I wonder, okay, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go because I legit don't know where they are. But if I did, they would be on. So just imagine me with some glasses with this outfit. So, all right, are y'all ready to get into this brand personality, our final one? If y'all been listening and you're like, okay, I feel like I'm missing some pieces because some of these sound like me, but I feel like I haven't found the one that's making me go, yes, that's me. Like I can see myself in it. This one might be the one that you was waiting for. So let's get into the citizen brand personality. All right. So here's the citizen. The citizen is driven by a deeply instilled sense of personal integrity, fairness, equity, and responsibility to the community. This archetype's identity is shaped by the experience of being a peer rather than a subject or a ruler. The citizen believes in and works to manifest values that are higher than profit or individual gain. Meaning is found in the personal sense of alignment between beliefs and actions. Seeing the value in the collective, the citizen trusts in the inherent good of human beings to contribute positively to society. All right, so this is the citizen. The citizen is one of those brand personalities that I really respect the between the citizen and the rebel. I see a lot of similarities between the two. I think that the thing that will set the citizen apart slightly from the rebel is that sense of duty to their fellow mankind. So you might see this type of brand personality in people who are very proactive about social issues, who are firm on people being treated with equality and with fairness. And a lot of the people that you see that are like spearheading some of these movements that we're seeing might be the citizen brand personality. So y'all listen in and see if this sounds like you or somebody that you know. So the citizen is driven by a strong sense of duty, equity, and belonging. If you strive to make a positive impact in your community, you might embody the citizen archetype. This is more than just being a good neighbor. Oh, I think about State Farm every time I say that. It's about fostering inclusivity, fairness, and collective strength. So let's get into the strengths and the challenges and the essence of being a citizen and how you can manifest this in your brand. All right, so let's start off with the strengths of the citizen. The citizen is known for your sense of duty. You have a strong commitment to doing what's right for the community. You are reliable and you have integrity, being trustworthy and dependable in all your actions. You are known for your inclusivity and your fairness, valuing equality and treating everyone with respect. You are known for your collaboration and teamwork, working well with others to achieve common goals. You're also known for your practicality and common sense. making decisions based on practical everyday wisdom. So the citizen and all the cousins of the citizen, which we're going to get into at the end, is one of those people who on the surface you may not notice them right away. I don't believe that this is one of the brand personalities that is like individually they stand out, but they're known for the work that they do. Like you recognize them because of their commitment to what they believe in, what they value, which when I talk about the brand examples, that'll start to make some more sense. When you see the ones that are the more popular brands that represent this brand personality. Okay. So, hey, AZ, when you harness the strengths of your citizen brand personality, that means that you are embracing your role as a reliable and fair community member. Citizens aren't just participants, they are the backbone of societal well being, fostering unity and mutual respect. All right. So, y'all, the citizens are like if you think about this, like the phrase unsung heroes, that would be the citizen. That would be the citizen. I think that it's very often that they are not immediately recognized. Thank you, Mask. They're not immediately recognized, but when you again when they are and you look back at how they moved and what they were able to accomplish, you see how effective they are. So like they're not the ones that are like initially, going for the spotlight, or the center of attention. So we're going to we talked about the strengths, so now we got to talk about the challenges of the citizen brand personality. So as a citizen, you may often face challenges with overcommitment, taking on too many responsibilities, leading to burnout. All right, we're seeing a trend with that, taking on too much, leading to burnout. The resistance to change, preferring the status quo, which can hinder your progress, which has you in a similar space as the ruler, with being tied to tradition or being resistant to breaking out of what's not already, known, like what's not already there, which is another thing that makes you slightly different than the rebel, because the rebel is always trying to push the status quo. So you have some similarities, but you also have the things that make you a citizen as opposed to a rebel. Another challenge that you may have is self-righteousness, believing that your way is the only way, leading to conflicts. You also have a challenge with neglecting personal needs, prioritizing the community's needs over your own. And then you also struggle with conformity, struggling to stand out or innovate due to a focus on fitting in. And you may be one of those people who is saying, I don't want to stand out. I don't want the glory. I don't need the recognition. I don't need people to see me. I just want to put my head down and do the work. But one thing that I want to encourage you as the citizen is that sometimes what you stand for and what you are noticing needs to happen in order for there to be that equality and that fairness that you're pushing for. It will require you to stand out. It will require you to not conform, but to stand out, not for the sake of being seen, but for the sake of change. And so you naturally may have that desire, or you may see things that are how things have always been, but it's butting up against what you feel is fair or what you know is fair. And so that conflict, you may tend to say, well, this is just how things are, let me just stay in this flow. But then it's not being true to you, because you know that this isn't right, this isn't fair, this isn't there's a group of people that are not being seen, that are not being treated the way that they should. So keep those things in mind. Like your fear, whether it's a fear of being seen, which I think that is most likely a fear of being seen. That fear of being different. Um, don't allow that to stop you from doing what's right, what you know is right. Okay. So thank you, AZ. I see you tapping. So recognizing and mitigating these challenges helps the citizen to maintain their effectiveness and their balance. Have you really? Oh, I can't wait to hear about it, AZ. Ensuring they continue to support their communities while also taking care of themselves. And so before I move on, let me go back just a little bit because there was a challenge with neglecting your personal needs and feeling like what's that phrase like what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Maybe that phrase doesn't work here because I feel like that's saying the opposite of what I'm trying to say. um oh, did you really? Oh, I definitely got to hear about that, Az. So okay, let me say it this way. I don't have no phrase for y'all for this, but you tend to feel like as long as everybody's okay, I'm good. Like I as long as everybody's all right, as long as everybody's taken care of, as long as everyone is got what they need, I'm okay. And that way of thinking, that approach is dangerous because what you're saying is I I'm okay with not prioritizing myself. I'm okay with not saying no. I need something in particular for me and feeling bad about that. Like feeling what's the word, guilty, or feeling shame when you aren't able to provide for everyone because your needs need to be tended to first. What you desire, what you like, literally not even just desire, but what you need, like your needs are being put on the back burner because you feel like as long as I'm taking care of everyone, or I'm putting everyone into this, it's not always about everybody. It's not always about the group. It's not always about the collective. Sometimes there are things that you need to do for you personally that is a you thing that will help you to be good for you, which will then impact others. But there's something that I'm feeling with this that I feel like I'm not articulating just yet. So, and when it comes to me, y'all already know, when it comes to me, I'm gonna share it, but it's gonna be something around that neglect, that neglect, and then also I'm feeling something with the self righteousness. Um, yeah. So when that comes to me, I'm gonna share it. It's gonna come. I already know. So let's keep on moving. So let's talk about how you can display your commitment to the community and equality. Okay, y'all? So, at the heart of the citizen, there is a burning passion for contributing to the greater good and ensuring that everyone is treated fairly. These individuals don't just see the world as it is, they see potential for a more just and inclusive society. With a highly practical nature, citizens often find themselves in roles where their sense of duty and integrity can shine, making a significant impact on their community. So I went through that part kind of fast because it came to me, y'all. I told you it was gonna come to me. All right. So y'all remember when I said the there you have that burning passion for ensuring that everyone is treated fairly, and you tend to neglect your personal needs. The guilt and the shame, mostly the guilt, can come from like this sense of like survivor's remorse. And when you can recognize, or when you are aware of a group of people, or certain people who have needs that aren't being met, you feel guilty for prioritizing yourself, even though you know that there are others with a need. You know that there are others that have something, that are lacking something, right? And so this feeling comes up for me sometimes when I think about everything that's going on with Gaza, and I think about how frustrating it is and just disappointing it is when it feels like what I'm doing doesn't make a difference, when it doesn't make an impact. And I know that, every little bit counts, every small thing counts, y'all. Like, please don't say that to me. Okay. Please don't say that. I just want y'all to hear my heart on this. And if you can relate to it, just let me know. Okay. So, but thinking about this came up particularly when I learned about the shortage of food that they have. Like, their people are, like, women, children, elderly are literally not getting enough food. Like, the starvation is rampant, and they're not even, like, the relief efforts, they're not even getting enough food, that they're the food that they were promised to get, the food that they're supposed to get, they're not getting that. And so I felt it when I went to the grocery store, and I was looking at Tabitha Brown's. It's actually not Tabitha Brown's now, it's just like Target brand. But I was looking at Target's vegan sausages, and I love those sausages, y'all. They are so good. But I was looking at them, and they were all expired. Like, all of them were expired. And I remember getting so frustrated and upset, because I was like, how do you not have any fresh vegan sausage? Like, why are all of these expired? And why are they out? And then going through Target, they had recalled so much food that it was so empty in the store. So I'm sitting here, hey Rose, I'm sitting here looking at all of like the empty spots in the store, and I'm getting irritated, because I'm like, I can't have nothing to eat now. Like, I can't eat nothing. It's no food. Meanwhile, it's still an entire grocery section of Target, but the fact that I could see the effects even at our level of like what's happening with the food and the scarcity and all these different outbreaks. And so, like, thinking about how hard it is even with the means to get what I need, I felt bad thinking about the people who don't even have that. Like, they don't even have that. And there was this feeling that I had of like, not even just like, how dare I complain, but feeling bad about the fact that I have and someone else doesn't. Y'all get where I'm going with this? Like, just thinking like that, like, that's enough. Like, I could imagine like losing my appetite just thinking about that. Like, I don't even feel right about the fact that I can go into my fridge right now and get something to eat, and there is someone who literally doesn't have that. And so that's the feeling, that's the sensation that I am getting from the citizen. And because of your heart for people, and because you go so hard for people having their needs met, and you go so hard for people being treated with equality and with fairness, that when you are aware of people who have certain needs, you can neglect your own because you feel that survivor's remorse. And that is the place where, as uncomfortable as it is to know, and I don't have the answers for how to not feel that way, right? Like, I don't even think that that's a fair thing to try to put on anybody. But what I will say is that regardless of the situations, the circumstances of others, you are no good to anyone if you are not well, if you are not healthy, if you are not healing, if you are not whole, you are not able to complete this work that is your mission, that's your desire. So even if you are a priority, even if you don't necessarily see yourself as like taking care of yourself as the end goal, maybe it's your why. I have this mission, I have this heart to serve, to help meet the needs of others, to advocate for others, and I know that I can't be that for other people if I'm not that for myself, right? And that's the thing that I want you to acknowledge about yourself, and to encourage yourself that not only do you need that care, that self-care, you need to meet your own needs, that you're worthy of it, and that and think about how you would feel if the shoe was on the other foot and you had someone who was meeting a need that you had somebody who gave you some money for some food that you didn't know where that money was coming from, or you are those people who are receiving this relief, this food, this shelter after days or weeks or months of not having it. Like, think about you treating yourself the way that you would imagine people would feel to get that same relief. Does that make sense? So that is what I want to offer as encouragement for the citizen, because that part of your heart, that challenge that you have, I can empathize with those feelings. So yeah, y'all, let's whew, take a moment. That was starting to make me emotional. That was starting to make me emotional. And I think the biggest reason why is because um you may be feeling an increased sense of hmm, you may be feeling an increased sense of duty. That's the word. An increased sense of duty to your fellow man, your fellow person, because of what is happening in the world, and where we are in the world, and the things that you see on the news, and the things you see happening in your cities, and like literally like looking at the state of things, you may feel an increased sense of duty, and in that increase there is a higher likelihood that you are going to neglect yourself in an effort to meet that need, meet that increase. And so I really want to encourage you with that. Like, don't lose yourself in your efforts to serve others. All right? So yeah. All right. I feel good there. If anything else comes up, then I'll share it, y'all. So let's talk about how to create an inclusive and collaborative experience as the citizen. So, if you're the citizen, you are characterized by your ability to bring people together and foster a sense of belonging. This dedication to equality and collaboration makes you an invaluable leader in fields that prioritize community and social responsibility. You possess a unique ability to see the common ground and work towards collective success. So you ensure that your actions benefit the greater good. Hey, Audacity. All right. So you have if you are not in a place, or if you do not have a brand or a yeah, if you don't have a brand, or if you're not currently in an environment where community and social responsibility is, you're able to shine in those areas, or even it's not a core, it's not a value, then you need to move around. All right. That is your sign. That is your cue that you need to move around, whether that is your own thing, whether that is you volunteering somewhere, whether that's you collaborating with some type of nonprofit or foundation. But you need to be in a place where community and social responsibility is a priority. All right. So let's talk about the essence of the citizen brand. Citizen brands are synonymous with reliability, integrity, and community focus. They possess an intuitive grasp of people's needs and strive to create solutions that promote inclusivity and fairness. This archetype thrives on fostering a sense of belonging and mutual respect, making it a cornerstone in industries like public service, I know, surprise, surprise, education, and community organizations. Citizen brands are not just about meeting expectations, they are about exceeding them in the most equitable ways possible. So, Remember earlier I told y'all I was going to shout out some brands that represent this personality, this citizen brand personality. So, brands that are synonymous with, hold on, back up. We already read that part. Okay, so let's talk about the brands. Iconic brands like REI and Patagonia epitomize the citizen archetype. They have not only introduced products that are practical and sustainable, but have also maintained a reputation for social responsibility and community involvement. Um, there is so um some of the brands that they're not, they represent this brand personality, but they're not the center or they're not the star of the show. But because of their commitment to their mission of um, like being equitable and being fair, they are very popular, well known brands. Okay. So I'm hoping that I'm articulating that the right way because typically citizens really are not the, like they're not the ones you think of first. They're not the flashy or the most like look at me, here I am. They're not the most boisterous brands, but when you do embody this brand personality well, you become known for that. So, brands like IKEA, Target, and Walmart all like they all embody this brand personality, especially because of their commitment to having fair prices, especially when you think about IKEA and how accessible IKEA is. Like you can have a pretty decent, pretty decently decorated and stocked up house using IKEA furniture and IKEA products. And so um like Target, like Walmart, those they all have a commitment to having low prices, being accessible for as many people as possible. And when they are really embodying this brand personality well, there is a commitment to their communities. So, and I can see how Walmart and Target have both done those. What does make it hard though, y'all, is capitalism and seeing what companies are willing to do in order to um have power and to have money. And so it can, at at the heart of it, like that's not what you think about at first, but at the core of what their mission is, it makes sense. So I'm hoping that you can kind of get an idea of it, even though there are some aspects of the brand that I do not believe are leaning on the strengths. Okay, I'll say it that way. YWCA, that is a good one. That is a good one. That's definitely a citizen brand. I think that a lot of nonprofits, community organizations would definitely fall under the citizen brand. They're either going to be citizen or a lot of them are going to be the rebel. What's another one that is maybe even I could see a lot of them being like the ruler as well. Those are the ones I think of off the top of my head, or the hero. So those are like when I think about like nonprofit community organizations, those are the ones that like come top of mind. But that's a good one, Adrian. Y'all know who else represents this brand personality? I don't know if it's the citizen all the way, but most likely one of the cousins is Issa. Issa's character. I mean, for real, it could be Issa overall, Issa Rae, because her commitment to her community, her commitment to making sure that LA was represented well, her commitment to bringing something into the community that uplifted it, that celebrated its local talent, and even the ones that are no longer local, but they're bigger names. The fact that she started her whole nonprofit organization, and even in the beginning, she worked at We Got Y'all, which We Got Y'all is funny because I think that anyone who has worked for a nonprofit would be very tickled by We Got Y'all, because although it was you know, humor, there are a lot of it's a lot of nonsense that happens in nonprofits when you are a part of, the organization. But I won't get on that. I won't get on that soapbox. But yeah, that was her draw. That was her call. She felt a deep sense of commitment, a deep sense of duty to her community, and so yeah. And then I'm looking at some of the challenges, like the rebelliousness, the recklessness, righteousness. That definitely sounds like Issa. So yeah, Issa Rae definitely is. She's in the citizen family somewhere. What y'all think? I feel like that literally came to me when I was reading through the strengths. I was like, this sounds like Issa Rae or Issa D from Insecure. So what y'all think about my assessment there? As y'all are sharing, I'll keep moving on. So the citizen brand deeply understands their audience's need for connection and fairness, ensuring that each interaction feels inclusive and community focused. All right. So let's go into the journey that you will take your audience on as the citizen. One of the key aspects of a citizen brand is their ability to build lasting, trusting relationships with its audience. By consistently demonstrating integrity and inclusivity, your brand can create a shared experience that feels both personal and meaningful. Your ongoing dedication is not just about offering products and services, but about fostering a sense of community and collective responsibility. This is not a brand, but I also think about Kwanzaa, especially like the origins of Kwanzaa, what it was created to do for Black people, and the even the values, the not the values, the principles of Kwanzaa remind me of the citizen. Um, That's interesting. We Just a fun fact. My family celebrates Kwanzaa. We have been celebrating Kwanzaa for dang. At this point, it's probably been at least like 15 years, maybe longer. It might have been longer than 15 years, but we've been celebrating Kwanzaa for a while. My dad had a moment. It was a little bit of a hotepi moment. He was having a moment. And so anyway, because of that time in our lives, he decided that he wanted us to start celebrating Kwanzaa. And since then, it has evolved a lot. The cool thing about Kwanzaa is that you really do get to make up your own rules, like just like Uno. Like you just make up stuff. Like I know what Uno said, but we're gonna have our own rules when we play Uno, and so that's how we are with Kwanzaa. So the way that we celebrate it is definitely unique to us. We have definitely added our own elements to it, but the idea of it being community focused and inclusive is definitely what the citizen represents and what Kwanzaa is all about. So, yeah, I was talking about Issa Rae, friend. I can see this being a good brand for a lawyer. It would be a good brand for a lawyer. I think that if I had to say, I feel like if they were just like a full blown citizen, they would probably be more of like um a public defender. Like that's what I think about when I think about this. Like they're the ones that are going to do like the, class action lawsuits, and um they're focusing on the equity being for as many people as possible and not just for the select few who can afford, certain types of representation. But I could definitely see a public defender. Hey Nessa, happy Saturday. What about Soul Train? Soul Train, huh? Soul Train. Do I feel like Soul Train is in this? Huh. I think that I could see that. I could see that. There's a part of Soul Train that I feel doesn't embody it all the way, and I'm not sure what it is. It might be because it's the arts that I feel that it has something else to it too. But I could see that. I could see that being I could see it being one of them. Thank you, Nessa. That's an interesting one, Adrian. That I was not even thinking about Soul Train. I have to sit with that some more. Okay. Another person that represents this brand personality is thank you, is Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is another, he's a like the everyday, um I'm kind of like hinting at one of the cousins here, but he's like a down to earth. He doesn't play any like extreme characters. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a I'm an everyday person. Like, I'm for the people. So yeah. Another person that I've been seeing represent this is the man that Will Smith played from The Pursuit of Happiness. But the interesting thing about this was Grand Westing. The interesting thing about the that being an example is that there has been discourse lately about how The Pursuit of Happiness paints Will Smith's character in a light that is not true to who he was. Apparently, he had a wife and he stepped out on his wife and had a baby with his mistress. And so his mistress is the one that left him in the movie. It was not his wife. And I was like, I kind of feel like that changes the story a little bit. Did y'all hear about that? This has nothing to do with the brand personality, y'all, aside from the fact that his character represented the brand personality. But when I heard that, I was like, so that's why she left? Because she wasn't even his wife. Like, it messed me up. I've only watched The Pursuit of Happiness. Like in real life, I've only watched The Pursuit of Happiness um one good time. It's one of those movies where I only need to see it once. Like I saw it and that's enough for me. It's too sad. Even though it gets happy at the end, it just takes way too long to get happy. And I don't be in the mood for that. I'm emotional by myself. I was talking about The Pursuit of Happiness. Will Smith's character, the woman that he was with in the beginning of the movie that he had the child with, was his mistress. He left his wife to be with her after she got pregnant, and then she left him. And that is really what set off the chain of events that was his life. And that's why he ended up being a single dad. So yeah, I was like, that is not what y'all had said in that movie. Y'all implied something completely different. But either way, it don't matter to me for real. For real, I'm not watching the movie again. But his character could be the Citizen Brand. All of that to say. All right, so let's get back into the challenges of this brand personality. So, if you are the citizen archetype, you may struggle with balancing dedication to your community with the need to innovate and adapt. So, this is a little bit different than the personal needs. 'Cause remember, we said that the citizen struggles with being able to not just follow the status quo and not just go with the flow, or being rigid in a sense when it comes to doing things a little differently or maybe a lot differently than what they're used to. And so you have to be able to balance that need for um it is kind of like stability in a sense, but I think the challenge comes because you don't want things to change in a way that you can't manage, basically. So it's more of like a control thing, I believe. And so you have to be able to balance your dedication to your community, also keeping in mind that the same old is not going to always work. Sometimes we got to stick to what is working, stick to what we know. And then there's other times where we have to innovate and adapt. And that might be a good opportunity for you. Hey, Shari, that might be a good opportunity for you to collaborate with the brand personalities that are naturally more innovative, that are naturally more forward thinking, who can bring a new perspective to it, so that you can see things you can see new solutions and new ways of moving and doing things. One good brand personality for that would obviously be the creator. Yeah. No. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that is a major detail. That changes a lot. I'm glad I'm the only person that thought that, because I was like, I don't know, guys. I don't know about that. Let me back this up a little bit. So, all right. So, with a path of the citizen is often fraught with risks of overcommitment. Okay, because you trying to save everybody, and you just and you can't save everybody. Your resistance to change and the emotional toll of prioritizing others over yourself. All right. And so we talked about that earlier, and that fear that you have, or that survivor's remorse that you may be experiencing, you don't have to take that as a sign that you are not doing enough. Like, don't take that as a sign to kick it into overdrive. Take that as a sign to say, hey, I know that there are people who have needs, but that does not mean that my needs don't also need to get met in order for me to better serve others. All right, y'all. So that's an important one. Why I keep saying it and repeating it, so that you can't say I ain't tell you. Okay, guys. All right. So let's talk about connecting with your customers as the citizen. So, okay, we're good now. Well, so let's talk about the citizen. It is, Kuma. It really is. Okay. So when you're connecting with your customers as a citizen, you attract those who value fairness, reliability, and a sense of belonging. Your customers are buying into a relationship of trust and mutual respect. By consistently demonstrating inclusivity and integrity, your brand creates a loyal following that appreciates your commitment to the greater good. And I want to emphasize the sense of belonging, but also mutual respect. Because one thing that you have as a strength of yours is that when you see people, you just see people. Even if it's a person who is in need, even if it's a person who is unhoused, even if it's a person who has certain disabilities, right? You don't look at them any less. You see people for people. And that is an incredible strength that you have. And it's going to help you to connect with your customers, connect with your clients, because you're not devaluing the person just because they're in a certain place in their life. And so really lean into that and acknowledge that. And you don't even really have to exploit it. Like you just do it naturally. But I think this is more of like an understanding for yourself that the fact that you see people that way, you see them as people, is an incredible strength. And you would be amazed how many people who have had certain needs or in certain places, or they might just be down right now, or even if they're not down, because you're not just doing like public service type things, but maybe they're lacking in a certain area, but that doesn't mean that they're not still worthy of respect, right? And so the fact that you're able to do that, and the amount of people who may have not felt like they were seen as people, they weren't treated as humans, they were um like discarded or pushed away or kind of kept at a distance. The fact that that's not how you see people and how you treat them is a really important asset that you possess. So really own that and embrace it. So when it comes to your strategic brand positioning as a citizen, you want to adopt a straightforward and honest approach with a focus on practicality and inclusivity. Okay, so you're another one of those brands that it's not fussy, it's not dramatic, it's not doing the most. It is practical, it's easy to use, and it's for the people. I want to say it's inclusive, but it doesn't mean that you're literally for everybody, but you get what I'm saying. So your offerings are typically set at a reasonable price range, emphasizing accessibility and reliability. Your design and marketing strategies are crafted to convey trust and community, and you often use clear messaging and inclusive imagery to reinforce that equitable ethos. So, another brand that is a part of this family is Gap. And although Gap is another one of those companies, y'all, that if we're being real, they can do better. Okay. They can do better. However, when you look at the marketing and the message of Gap, they have made it a point to include a diverse range of people. And when you think of Gap, you don't really just think of one person. Like have you ever tripped off of that? And when you think of Gap, it is like you can imagine different types of people with Gap. Like you don't just think of the Gap girl or the Gap guy. It is a brand that it focuses more on how many people can we serve with this product or with this brand. Wrangler is another one of those. Even though I do kind of think of a person when I think about Wrangler. I do think about a person when I think about Wrangler. Levi, denim. I'm noticing a trend to denim now when I'm saying these names. But not every denim brand is like that. But it just happened to be a coincidence that they were denim brands. But yeah, that made you think of Michael Jackson. Oh, really? Gap did? Or this brand? Dove would be a good one, I think. I um I wouldn't, huh. That's actually a good point, Adrian. But there's a reason why I wouldn't necessarily put them in every day, not every day, in the Citizen, but I can't pinpoint why. I feel like there's something about it. Mm. Mm. But I see why you say that though. I see why you say that. Who is you? Is this a general you, or oh, I'm missing it, Kuma. I'm sorry. I'm, I'm missing something. The delay. The delay that I have on YouTube with the chat is, I wish I could fix it, but at this point I don't know. I don't know what that would mean. I don't know what that would look like. I don't even know how long it is before y'all hear me. It's very weird. But yeah, I'm confused is what I'm basically saying. I'm sorry. Okay. Let me talk about the colors. If you want to clarify it, then please do so that I can be on the same page. All right. So let's talk about the colors, y'all. The colors of the Citizen brand lean towards earthy and neutral colors. So greens, browns, and soft blues that evoke a sense of stability and trust. And honestly, that's another reason why, like, when I looked at Target, I was like, I get it, but Target got something else. And when I figure out what it is, I'm gonna come back and tell y'all. But yeah, they have something else that makes them feel just a little different to me than like putting it in the same category as Walmart, even though like they basically the same, y'all. But the type of people that shop at Walmart versus Target, it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference. Um, So yeah, so the soft blues, neutral, earthy colors. I would even go as far as to say that like a navy blue. I wouldn't necessarily consider that to be a soft blue, but I think about navy when I think about the Citizen too. Oh, like Hugo Boss is yeah. And the first one I thought about was um True Religion, and True Religion is not for everybody at all. Like at all. It is a particular group. So every denim brand is not created equal, and that's okay. Even though I don't like True Religion, I've never liked True Religion. Right? Yeah, yeah. It definitely is, Kuma. Yeah, they all have their own aesthetic. The Gap is even the way that I'm sorry, I got to go back because Gap is just an interesting one because the way that Gap's clothes are cut, it feels like they're trying to make it it's like they're trying to make it for everybody. I have a hard time shopping at Gap because their sizing is it tends to be like on the bigger side. So even if I got an extra small, it's like it's cut almost like rectangular and I can't get with it. Like it just don't be working. Like anytime people are like, you got to get Gap jeans because Gap jeans, they got all the different cuts and the shapes, and I'm like, not for yo, because every time I go in there, they look wild. Hey Ron, they look wild. I just don't. It don't work. It don't work. So that's the challenge in trying to be for everybody is that inevitably it's still not going to be for everybody because I can't shop there. I cannot shop there. Oh yeah, y'all definitely know it. Uh, but yeah, the way that they're cut, it just feels like even the shape of their clothes is like we just want to make sure that as many people as possible can fit in this. We're not being particular here, so I just yeah, um, yeah. So let's talk about the values of the Citizen. Thanks for the follow. So at the heart of every citizen is the desire for equality and community. Yeah, facts and facts. Like that's yeah, exactly. The creators are not just products. Your creations are not just products, but they're an extension of your commitment to fostering a fair and inclusive society, imbuing in your work a sense of integrity and mutual respect. So, as the Citizen, here is how you want to make your community feel. All right. You want them to feel safe and included, knowing they belong. You want them to feel valued and respected with their needs being acknowledged. Sorry, I just thought about how I thought about Gap again. I promise I'm gonna get off of this, y'all. I'm so sorry. Supported and encouraged, knowing help is always available. And then you want them to feel connected and united. That's a big one. Connected and united, fostering a strong sense of community. One thing that I kind of said about the citizen that I feel got overshadowed is that you have the ability to bring people together. That's one of the underrated skills and strengths of the citizen is that not only do you make people feel like they belong, but it's almost like you can find the commonality between people. You can find a common ground that we can get behind, and doing that unifies us, which is another reason why I feel that as a citizen, you're feeling a strong urge, a strong sense that what you need to do, you need to be doing more, or you have more responsibility because of what you see going on, all of the division, all of the inequity, all of the unfairness that's happening. You're feeling that pull to do more because you're tapping into the needs of people, and that's what you're able to do. That's why you're feeling that. So that's how you want them to feel, but that's also how you naturally make your people feel. Yeah, that delay is wild. It's wild. All right, so let's talk about making connections. So, as a citizen brand, you want to make sure that you are showing a genuine commitment to inclusivity and fairness. Oh, look at that. Now we got another opportunity to bring Gap back in the mix. Okay. I'm calling Gap to the carpet because I just feel away. Clearly, I feel away. So, that genuine commitment to inclusivity and fairness is important. It is important that it is genuine, because if it is not, and people start smelling the fraudulence, that is going to negatively impact your brand. All right. And so there are some things from these bigger companies that you can take in as inspiration, but more than that, you can say, I know that's funny, Kuman. I cannot look at it yet or I'll lose my train of thought. Give me a second. But you also want to be looking at what these brands are currently not doing, and then you do it better. You do it better. When you look at these big companies, and this is like a little soapbox, y'all, when y'all look at these big companies and you start looking at them as your competition, they are not. They're not your competition. So while you have a desire and a heart to serve everybody and do for everybody, realistically, you do not have the um resources to operate like a Walmart or a Target or a Gap. And that's not me trying to put you down. That, if anything, that should excite you, because now you can focus on where the gap is. Call back. You can focus on where the gap is, and you do your best job filling in that gap, right? Like that's where you live and that's where you stay. So you can take a lot from the brand. You can learn a lot from them, how they market, how they brand themselves, their commitment to their communities, their initiatives. There is so much inspiration that you can get from it. But like, realistically speaking, they are not your competition, and that is okay, because you don't want to, especially when you start getting to those levels, then you start seeing the ways that people now have to compromise their brands in order to continue to operate at the level that they're at. And it is incredible to watch it happen, especially if you are a part of those communities and you're like literally watching it crumble. So you can say you can say they have a gap in their strategy. Yeah, they definitely have. Yeah, it's a gap. And honestly, I don't think they care about filling it. Like I think that they're okay that the gap is there. That's where the name came from. They're like, you know what? There's a gap, and we're gonna leave it there. Oh man, I ain't gonna never get no brand deal with Gap. That's okay. That's all right because I really can't. I cannot wear their clothes. I've never been able to wear their clothes, so I just gotta take that L. I gotta take that L on that one. You can't. Yeah, no, you're not. The Nintendo is not your ops. They're not your ops. If anything, you're able to fulfill a need that they could never. They could never, and you excel in that space that they can't fill. All right. Mm, Making connections. So it's crucial to show genuine commitment to inclusivity and fairness. I mean, since birth, it's crucial for you to provide consistent support and reliability. It's also important for you to communicate openly and honestly, making individuals feel valued and respected. Okay, there goes that respect again, because that is what you do. That is what you do well. You make people feel like they are people, regardless. All right. So let's get into some storytelling ideas for the citizens. So if you are a citizen, you're listening to this and you're like, yes, 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 yes. These are some ideas that you can use for your storytelling. Now, I'm only going to share 3 of them. If you want the other stories, make sure you go to the link that's in my description box. If you're on TikTok, this description box I'm talking about is on YouTube. I do not have it linked in my bio, unfortunately. So you will have to go to YouTube, check out the replay, and it'll be there. So it'll have all the storytelling ideas. Everything that I have talked about on this live will be written on there. And as I get more information and I get more examples of this brand personality, as well as the others, I will be adding them to the blog. So you can literally be learning how to embody your brand personalities and evolve as the information is being added to it. So make sure if this is you and you need these storytelling ideas, go check out the blog. All right. So, one of the ideas that you can use for your stories is to tell or describe how your local business initiative helped to revitalize a struggling neighborhood, creating jobs and fostering a sense of community. So in this example, you're really honing in on how you are improving a neighborhood, and not even just neighborhood, but how you're improving your community and giving them the things that were missing or the things that they were in need of, and then showing what that does as a result of those initiatives. You can share about your volunteer program and how it enabled employees to make a meaningful impact in their community through service. So, not only is in this example, is your brand empowering and enabling people in a good way, not a bad way, but it is also they're also carrying on what they have been given to others. And y'all, that's a really good way for you to maximize your efforts without burning yourself out. Is realizing that, hey, Jazzy, is realizing that what you do and what you pour into others will naturally be paid forward, right? Like you don't have to take it all on your shoulders. It doesn't all fall on you. What you give to people, what you pour into people, they will take that and they will pour it and it'll multiply naturally as a result of you showing up as you. So be encouraged even in that, and knowing that your well-doing is not in vain, is not going unnoticed, and if anything, it is making your community, the world, a better place just by you being you. Okay. Another storytelling idea is showing a moment where your sustainable product line inspired customers to adopt more eco friendly habits, contributing to a healthier planet. So, this is also good for people who are represent this brand and you're collaborating with a sustainable brand. You're collaborating with something that's eco-friendly. You're collaborating with something that supports a community that may not have as many resources, or what you're purchasing or what you're using is going to benefit some cause. Like your purchase is contributing to a better world, a better place. So even as a consumer or as a collaborator, you are making the world a better place because of what you value. So these are some different ideas that you can use. The others, there's about three more, it might be four more, three or four more storytelling ideas. So if you are the citizen, make sure you go and check these out, take these examples, and then utilize them in your own marketing and your own storytelling and your own conversations with people so that you can really embody and articulate your brand personality well. All right. So, here are some keywords and phrases that you should be using, or some form, some shape or fashion of these phrases should be a part of your vocabulary and in your marketing and in your messaging. So, together we make a difference, building a stronger community, everyone matters here, committed to fairness and equality, supporting each other every step of the way, and your voice matters. That last one, definitely, definitely want to lean into that one. Your voice matters. You matter. We make a difference because when you believe that, when you're genuine about that, it ignites something in others that makes them feel like it's the truth, right? And if that's truly what you believe and embody, then it is a truth. We do make a difference. So, my dutiful, committed, resilient citizens, I want you to remember to balance your dedication to the community with your own needs. With your own needs. Each act of fairness and support is a testament to your integrity and commitment. Keep fostering, keep advocating, and watch as you create a world of trust and unity with every step. All right, y'all. We have got through the citizen, but we are not done yet because we talked about the fundamental brand personality, which is the citizen. And now we got to talk about the cousins. Let's get to know the whole family because you may not be the citizen, but you might be one of the cousins. So, let's get into each of these personalities. The first one is every man. Every man's strengths are a great strength of character, faithfulness, supportiveness, usefulness, functionality, and resourcefulness. The challenges of this brand personality are unevolved behavior, ignorance, preoccupation with the basic routines of life, and groupthink. Groupthink. I won't harp on that one today. Driven by a need to feel a sense of belonging, the everyman believes that everyone matters equally, regardless of status, age, ethnicity, or creed. Like a good neighbor, the everyman is there. That's not what the car says. That's what I want to say so bad. State Farm, man. The everyman seeks to do the right thing with no need for heroics or adventure. Again, remember I was telling y'all they don't need to be the star of the show. They just need to know that what they're doing is making a difference. So that's the everyman. Actually, I'm gonna finish reading that part. Possessing a charming sincerity that every man embodies the acronym WYSIWYG. That's so long. What you see is what you get, and it has a casual approach to life, preferring to be understated, non-threatening, and helpful to all. The everyman description is harsh. Yeah, y'all want to know what's so funny? This was one of my son's cards, and when he heard it, he was like, That's me. Oh man, it is so funny because it is. He does have a charming sincerity though. Like sometimes he's a troll on purpose. It just runs in the family, just a family of trolls. It is what it is. But there's this like genuine spirit that he has. Like he means well, like he really does mean well. And that's not to say that he doesn't have his moments, especially when it comes to the unevolved behavior. And he can be pretty rigid, and being very occupied with like the everyday things. And so I can see a lot of that, but they're good people. They're good people. So it does feel like harsh though. Especially the ignorance. But even when I read ignorance to him, he was like, "Yeah." I was like, oh, "Okay. All right then. Well, he didn't feel no way about it." He was like, "That sounds like me." And that's all he needed in that moment. All right. So the next cousin coming to the reunion is the servant. The servant's strengths are service, ability to listen, empathy, awareness, commitment to the growth of others, talent for community building, humility, persuasion, stewardship, and openness. The challenges of the servant is a loss of individual sustainability, leading to burnout, too much sacrifice, and dependent on external acknowledgement. So, a lot of like that validation. So, the servant can assume a spectrum of roles from one who serves another to servant leadership. The true spirit of the servant does not contain a mandate to subservience or being indentured, but represents a calling to service for the benefit of enhancing others' lives. A diligent and dedicated helper, the servant is a humble steward, freely choosing to serve and to satisfy. The rewards of service are sufficient for this archetype, and external recognition is not required. So, again, like a really heavy on that. I'm just here to serve. I'm just here to make the world a better place. I don't really need the acknowledgement or the kudos for that. The next cousin coming to the reunion is the networker. The networker's strengths are a talent for creating communities and connections, outgoing personality, empathy, conversational skill, social flexibility. The challenges are a tendency to be disingenuous, to see people as leverage, or to use people for personal benefit, manipulation, and gossip. The networker creates communities of collaborative peers for the mutual benefit of the collective. Finding commonalities between people, the networker is motivated to expand its sphere of influence by forging alliances and making connections with disparate groups of people. This archetype demonstrates an intuitive emotional sensitivity to the needs of other people, sometimes seen as a social butterfly. The networker is generally good at putting people at ease, telling stories, and making friends. That is the networker. And our last cousin coming to the reunion is the advocate. The advocate's strengths are energy, drive, lifelong passion for championing the greater good and the rights of others, ability to inspire others. Hey, soul of a man. Ability to inspire others to action. Some of the challenges are temptation to work for causes primarily for personal gain rather than the greater good. So, as a supporter and a promoter of social change, the advocate is compelled to transform social issues and empower people to use their voices for a cause that may be unpopular, obscured, or that others don't want to address. The advocate is dedicated to what Ram Dass calls compassion in action. This archetype activates empowerment and change by bringing people on side, inspiring them to a greater calling, and defending those who are not yet able to advocate for themselves. That is the advocate. So these are the cousins of the citizen brand family. So the citizen is the fundamental, and the cousins are the everyman, the servant, the networker, and the advocate. All right. So if you are a citizen or one of the cousins, you are somebody who is so appreciated, so necessary. And at this time in our culture, in this time in our world, you may be someone who is called on, not even called on, but you feel the call, you feel the need to step in and to do what you do best so that we can see unity and change. And I really appreciate and admire and thank you for sharing your strengths with us, sharing your values with us, and being that person who's willing to say something has to change. And people people need this. Um, People are looking for this, whether they know it or not. And just like, especially that idea of respect, that mutual respect of people, regardless of who they are, how old they are, what they've been through in life, that is something that really makes you unique. It makes you special. And we need more of it in the world. So, to my citizens, thank you. I want to salute. It feels like the right thing to do for the citizen. I don't know why. But I want to salute you because I'm gonna use that as a that's gonna be my thumbnail, y'all. I'm gonna do a salute. That just made sense. Okay, let me see. So Adrian says, "Dang, I'm torn between the reformer and the advocate, which is in the citizen family, and the reformers and the rebel." Huh. What? Let's see. Let's read it again. One thing that does help is that if you feel torn between any of the brand personalities, a surefire way to rectify that is by playing the brand personality game, because with the brand personality you're not going by what description you hear. You're literally going by the designs, like the colors, the images. Those are what speak to you. And it's almost like it bypasses like the part of your brain that I believe is like, I won't say it's the most active side, but it bypasses one part of your brain so that you can just be honest. Like, I wish I had better language to describe that, but hopefully you kind of get you get the gist of what I'm saying. So it bypasses like the logical side, and it goes to the more creative side, like like the whole right brain left brain situation. And when people do that, they realize that, oh, this is my brand personality when I read the card. I mean, especially because they're choosing it without hearing the description first. So sometimes that helps. So let's see. I'll read both of them. I did this yesterday too. I kind of went through the cards again just to help give some clarity. So since you brought it up, I'm gonna answer it. All right. So the reformer does not want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but rather seeks to improve the existing system. This archetype observes violations, justifications, and problems in the system, and it may act as a watchdog or a whistleblower with an advanced ability to see what's missing. The reformer instinctually is pulled to modify and iterate. The reformer wants to be right, to strive higher and make improvements, living in relentless application of ideals and expectation. The reformer seeks to avoid criticism by applying rigorous logic. So some of the strengths is discernment, maturity, integrity, balance, long-term perspective, strength to hold to principles, and dependability. And then the challenges are a tendency toward puritanical and narrow-minded ideals, righteousness, hypercriticism, and repression. And then when it comes to, yeah, so see, it observes violations, justifications, and problems, may act as a watchdog or a whistleblower. And with the advocate, you're a supporter, and promoter of social change, which is definitely very similar. Um, but let's see, discernment, maturity, energy, drive, lifelong passion for championing the greater good, ability to inspire others to action. So it seems to me like the advocate is more of a people person than the reformer is, which is funny. I'm the reformer. Um, yeah, because even when I look at the ability to inspire others to action, that's not something that's not something that's on the reformers. Like the reformer is more about calling out the systems as opposed to like bringing the people together. So it is tricky because they are very similar. And if you can catch the nuances there and discern between the two, then good on you. But sometimes looking at the designs is what you really need because you might bypass um all of the other like technical details with that. Okay, based on that, my fundamentalist age, my cousins are the ruler and the advocate. Okay, all right, bet. All right, that's cool. So look at that. Well, now you can go back. The sage resonated with a few people. I like the sage. I like the sage. There is a mm, I don't know. There's a part of me that wonders if that might be one that I adopt at some point. You know how people are more like they're a little bit more like rowdy when they're younger, and then as they get older, when they get up there in age, they are not as radical in terms of how they act, and those experiences from being radical turned into more wisdom, like you kind of tone down a little bit. I wonder if that's going to be me. Only time will tell. Hey Belvy. Only time will tell. But y'all, we have gone through all of these cars. We have gone through all the brand personalities. Look at us. Wow. I don't honestly like in this moment. Yeah, Belvy, I'm wrapping things up. I'm wrapping things up. I've been on here for an hour and a half. TikTok just gave me my congratulations on your 90 minutes. So I definitely been on here yapping. But y'all, I'm just blown away. I'm blown away. I think that I want to say that tomorrow I'm put it down in my notes actually. Tomorrow we're just going to celebrate we're going to celebrate the fact that tomorrow will be 17 days. So close to 20 days of this is wild. Man. And I want to celebrate everybody that has joined in since I started. I just want it to be a good time. I want us to have fun, and Just yeah, I want to be able to really celebrate this accomplishment because it is one of those things that you know how you just kind of like, put your head down and you just work and you don't take time to stop and just acknowledge and celebrate what you have been able to do. This is one of those moments for me. Cause like even like when I got home, cause it's been a busy day, but when I got home, I was just like, okay, set the camera up, make sure lights are in place, pull this mic up, pull up the document for the brand personality, and then just go. And there was like a big part of me that really just wanted to get through this last one today, even though I know it's like a Saturday night and this is probably not the type of topic that most people want to listen to on a Saturday, but I don't care cuz it's going to be here. So whether you listen to it right now or you listen to it a month from now or whenever you finally, whenever, everybody else finally catches up, you know, then it'll be here. Like I just don't it didn't matter to me. I just came in on a mission. And so now that, I've accomplished today's goal, today's mission, and I sit back and I think about it, I'm like, dang, like we did this. We did this. And Adrian, I have it has been a pleasure to encounter you on this series. Like it has it's so cool how people are just able to find you as you are putting your content out there. Like you really never know who you're going to meet. So I've been enjoying having you here. It makes me excited every time I learn something new about you. And one day soon I know I'm going to see some of your content and it's going to embody that sage. What is it? Your sage and nope, your sage, advocate, and ruler personalities is going to represent those well because now you know and you know how to tell it, you know what story to tell, how to represent it. And so I'm just excited to see what that looks like in action for you. So yeah, guys, we did it. I think I had like a whole other train of thought with that, but I'm gonna save it for tomorrow. I'm gonna save it for tomorrow. And also tomorrow I will be talking a little bit about my ideas. I think I'm going to say that it's going to be a workshop, and the workshop is going to be to help people to take their brand from social media to a place that they own, whether that is an email list, whether that is a Telegram community, whether that is events and gatherings in your area, in your community. What does it look like to take your influence, to take your community from being stuck and solely being on social media? Because this is now is the time. I mean, it's been the time, y'all. Like it's never been a bad time to do this. But I know that we can't keep acting like these platforms ain't acting funny, and in order for us to have things that are sustainable, to build brands that are sustainable, because those are the kinds of people that are my people want to build things that last. They want to build things that are going to endure. They want to build things that are going to make a change, make an impact on the people around them. Those are the people that I attract. Those are the people that I work with. And so I know for people like that, we need to be able to have something that is solid, that is secure, that is regardless of the algorithm, we know how to connect with people and grow our brands and build those meaningful connections and all of the beautiful ways that we all do it based off of our brand personalities, right? So I'm going to be talking about more of what that will look like as a workshop. And just kind of talking through that. And that's something that I will set up sometime in December. So if that is a workshop that you feel like you need, you've been thinking like, how do I take my social media following? How do I take the success that I've seen with my brand online and take it to a place where I can still connect with my community, regardless of what happens with these platforms and social media? So if that's you, I'm going to have something set up so that you can get more information about it, get on the wait list, and we're going to get that going because we need it. So yeah, y'all, that's yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Y'all have a really good night. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'm going to eat this sub that I got from Jersey Mike's and I'm going to sit down and watch TV. Oh, but I will see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think tomorrow's gonna probably be tomorrow's gonna be a little bit later. So get a like some late night inspiration, or after the kids get down and go to sleep, get ready for school, then the grown-ups can talk and we can talk about the stuff that we care about. And you'll have a good time. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all be good. And talk to you soon. Wait, hold up. I see your question, Adrian. Outside of the game, what other services do you offer? Oh, okay. So I offer by Belvy, I offer branding. So I have brand style labs, which are a branding intensive, which is for people who already have an established brand and you are either looking to expand it or rebrand. That would be a 4-hour session. And we would go through all of this. The brand personality game is just a part of it, which will help to assess what your brand looks like, how you can communicate this with your colors, with your content. The client that I work with today, we are basically doing a brand style lab. It just looks a little different because she's local, so I'm able to help her to get that content in person. But our goal is to expand her brand, to expand her reach in the community, to get started with creating her events that she's going to start doing in 2025, that are going to be centered around her skincare and her perfumes. And then also a big one is growing her affiliate program. So if you have been thinking, I have clients, I have products or services already, but I want to take my brand to the next level and I want to work with someone who really understands my brand, not just on a basic stereotypical level. Not even stereotypical, but like sometimes people use like a basic framework for working with people. And that's not how I work. Like when I work with people, I get like inspiration and prophetic insight into what it is that their business needs and also where they're trying to go, and then I help you to do that. So like I'll literally, like, if we're supposed to work together, you tell me about your business, I'll be able to say things that you have dreamt about doing or things that you have imagined doing that you haven't even told anybody, but because that's how my gift works, I'm able to articulate that. So those are the kinds of people that I work with. So it can vary in terms of what project we would pursue for your brand, but that's the service. So it'd be like brand management. If I had to give it like a, a name that you might recognize or a term you might recognize. Outside of that, I also have the Getting Unshy Collective. And the Getting Unshy Collective is the branding, but it's done with you. So there is a course associated with it that takes you through the 5 steps of building your brand. That is also for that's for newer entrepreneurs. If you have experience in entrepreneurship, then this will be better for you than someone who has no experience at all. But the people that are in there right now, especially one of my clients in particular, she's going to be launching her first digital product, and her previous experience was in like digital. It was digital marketing. That's not what she was exactly in, but that's like the best way to describe what she was doing before. And so now she is getting back into entrepreneurship and creating her own product with I can say it now because she announced it already on her YouTube channel. But she's going to be launching her affirmation guide because she does some fire affirmations. So that's going to be launching next week, next Tuesday. So she's a person that's in the collective where we have our group calls. We come together. We work through the different sections of building your brand. We create a brand profile for you, and what you leave with is not only the ability to create authentic content that represents your multifaceted personality, not just the one that you feel is appropriate to share. You also leave with a product or a service that you have created, and ultimately, you've already launched it. And then you also have your brand profile, which helps you to keep going in the right direction with your brand. And it also has the vision for your brand. So 2 years from now, 5 years from now, I wouldn't go past that for that program, but 2 years from now, 5 years from now, where is your brand going and what do you want it to have? And so, with that experience, you are meeting together with other entrepreneurs. And so, we could talk about the things that are happening, where our souls are at, what challenges we might have, and then also work through the practical things like building a website, writing your About Me page. I'm going to be showing them how to use AI to create your About Me page without it sounding like Chat GPT wrote it. Because I figured out how to do that. Okay. So, getting that going, and then there's going to be some other topics as well that off top of my head I can't think about, but that's then if you need it in a group setting. And then the last thing that I offer that I will be launching next year is going to be one on one brand management. So that'll be ongoing. If you need somebody who's going to help to manage your brand, make sure that you are staying on point, to build out an affiliate or ambassador program to help you to expand your product or service suite, to help you get into events and things in your community, then I will be helping you for an extended period of time. And that can start at a minimum of 3 months. So that is all the things. Yes. What did I say where you were asking the community? Were you talking about the collective? Yeah, it's the community. So it's hosted on Telegram. If that helps you understand it. So it's the course and then the Telegram community. So we have our own chat where we talk about the lessons that we have, talk about challenges that you might have. You can ask me questions. Inside of the collective, we also have like 30-minute calls where we can just do like individual check-ins and make sure that you're moving on track. So again, that is best suited for people who are not new to entrepreneurship, but you're in the earlier stages of building your brand. The brand style lab, which is more of an intensive, and then the brand management are for established brands who are looking to expand. So to give you a gauge of which one would be the best fit for you. And yeah, that's what I got. Thank you for asking that question. I appreciate that. I don't just outline them often, so I appreciate the opportunity to tell y'all and let y'all know. And if you are interested, the Brand Style Lab, the link to the form, the application is going to be in the description box. So not only can you fill it out so we can have our consultation, but you can also see what all it entails, what all the deliverables are going to be. And the Brand Style Lab is currently discounted for $997. When 2025 kicks off, it will go up to its original price of 1500. So there is an incentive to get it before December 21st or 22nd. So if you want to get on my calendar, if you want to secure that and you need the intensive, then that'll be a good thing for you to do. And then I will put the code that you need to use inside of the description box as well. I've been missing that in some of the videos, so I'll update that on the description box. But yeah, so that's how you can get more information on all those things. Okay, that's everything. I had to make sure. If you have any other questions, let me know. And if you think of them later, then, come back in tomorrow and ask me, because tomorrow is going to be less structured, more fun, and just celebratory. So yeah, I'll be available to answer and respond a little bit more freely. So yeah, guys. You're welcome, Adrian. Have a good night. Have a good night over here on TikTok. I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.